It's time to wake up, you guys. It's time to wake up. Your body, your choice, but that also means, come on. Let's get into this Roe versus Wade situation. The Supreme Court decided to overturn this decision. Let's talk about what this means for us women, why this is happening, and why this is so important to your life, whether you're a man or a woman, and whether or not you live in the US, you guys, because nothing is happening by accident. These things will affect you, and it's important to be aware of these things and just express how you feel. Think about it. Let's get into it. Now, when I first heard about this, it wasn't on the news because you guys know I don't watch the news. I was on social media and I saw my little sister post it on her story. She's 18 years old and she's and she's a Libra sun, so basically she's all about justice. Whether or not she's aware of it, she only posts like about political stuff. I don't associate with the political party. I don't watch the news. Y'all already know. But this decision that the Supreme Court made, it definitely affects everybody, not just women. The reason that I wanted to make this video is to remind you guys that this is another very clear example of how our rights are being stripped away right before our very eyes. Okay, so if you didn't think that COVID was a very clear example of this and the measurements that were taken as far as people being forced to have a vaccine, then this should open your eyes. Okay, women make up half of the population, and this is not about your personal stance on whether or not you believe in an abortion. This is about freedom, and this is about somebody's right to choose and have sovereignty over their body, okay? Because this is your body, okay? And so me personally, I do not agree with abortion, okay? I would never have an abortion personally. That's my conviction. I believe that if a life is in your body, if God has blessed you in that way, then that is a gift from up above, okay? And some people will say, well, it's not a life yet because it's not born. But I believe it's alive because it's growing. It's the seed in your body is growing. So it is alive. Maybe you can't see it yet, but it is there, okay? So that's where people who are against abortion, that's their mindset, okay? They're pro-life, meaning they are preserving the baby's life. A baby can't fend for itself. It can't speak up and say, I want to be alive. So they're going from they're moving from the stance of like, okay, you don't have the right to kill an innocent baby. You made the decision to have one. You know, you decided to have sex and get pregnant. So now you are obligated to have the baby. Those are people who are pro-life, right? But here's where the problem is. That baby may be alive. I believe the baby is alive inside, no matter how small. However, it's the woman's body that the baby has to grow in. It's the woman's body that has to carry it and nourish it and then push it out, which if you've ever had a baby, you can understand, like, it is such a commitment to have a child. It's the biggest responsibility that anybody would ever have in their life, man or woman. And then once the baby is born, you're obligated to care for it. It can't take care of itself, you know? And so it's a lifelong commitment. And so that's why it is the woman's choice on whether or not she wants to have a baby. And for people who are pro-life and seeing this from the baby standpoint, I also want you to consider that if a woman or parents, two people, do not want to have a baby, and then they are forced to have a baby, that is not helping the baby's life. It's going to be neglected. It's going to be not cared for, hated, suffering, because once again, having a kid is such a huge responsibility, such a huge commitment. The baby should be brought into the world with love and dedication and commitment to nourish it and help it grow, love it. A baby needs love. And so it doesn't make much sense to force people to have kids who do not want to have kids. If a woman has made a decision to have an abortion, That's not an easy decision. That means she's thought it through and she's like, I do not want to have a kid. So again, this comes back to freedom. She has the freedom to choose whether or not she wants to become a mother, even though that baby's life is alive. Okay, and so the government should not be telling us what to do with our bodies. And I want to bring up another subject that can be a little bit controversial because I want you guys to think about your beliefs and why you believe what you do. If you associate with a political party, then this is some food for thought, okay? Let's say you agree with the conservative stance and you're red, right? And you think back to the vaccines. People who were conservative, they were upset about the vaccine mandates because they were saying, wait a minute, we have the freedom over our bodies to decide whether or not we want this vaccine. Some people didn't trust it, some people didn't want it, didn't need it, and they were like, you can't tell me what to do with my body, okay? But then they turn around and the same conservatives are telling a woman what she can and cannot do with her own body. There's a contradiction there. Okay, let's go to the blue side, the liberal people, liberal political stance, point of view. The liberals, when the vaccine mandates were coming out, they're like, absolutely, we need these vaccines because, we got to protect each other and you're hurting me, let's wear 2 masks. And, even though they were just so for these vaccine mandates, they were agreeing with the laws that Biden and the blue were pushing, okay? Now these same liberals are turning around and they are appalled at the Supreme Court ruling. How dare you strip away women's rights? Oh, I'm gonna march outside of the thing. Do you guys see the contradiction here? This is why I do not associate with a political party, because at the end of the day, free your mind of these limitations and of these, you don't have to fit in a box of a political party, okay? The government, they're all working together, okay? And they want us separated. And I'm gonna speak my heart and mind, okay? Like I've told you guys before in a video last week, freedom is an illusion here and everywhere. Wherever there is a government, freedom is an illusion, because here come the government telling you what you can and cannot do and deciding your life for you. Take your power back. Now, ladies, what this decision means is, when I say take your power back, take your power back. Do not sleep with a man that you are not ready to conceive a child with. Okay? Because it's not even about the abortion laws, because different states like California and other places, they're not having it. They're still going to allow women to have abortions. You don't want to use abortion as your scapegoat to just go out there, be wild, be reckless with your life and other people's lives and your body, disrespect yourself, and just get pregnant and just knowing you can just pop a plan B or just go to a clinic and kill off your fetus. Be responsible, and I feel like that's why some conservatives are so passionate about this subject, because they are seeing millions of women, or I don't know the numbers, but a lot of women use abortion as like a scapegoat of like, dang, I messed up, let me just go get an abortion like it's nothing. Like, I'm just going to get a smoothie and I'm headed to the clinic. So be responsible with your decisions, but at the same time, it is the woman's choice. It's the woman's choice of whether or not she wants to commit her life to becoming a mother and raising a child, you guys. I'm playing devil's advocate, you guys, because I just want you to consider all things. Like, I was even hesitant to make this video because I'm like, where do I stand? It forced me to think about my own beliefs and convictions, okay? So there are some women who, they go and seek an abortion because at the end of the day, they did not consent to having sex. This is a real thing. If sex was forced upon them and they conceived, okay, there's ugliness in this world. There's incest. There are people who force themselves on other people. The sex is not consensual. In these cases, which are so sad and crazy, of course, a woman has a right to not have that baby, you know? So we have to consider all sides, you guys. It is ridiculous for, in this day and age, for a person to be able to go to the doctor, have cosmetic surgery, okay, risk their own life in that way. That's totally fine. Tummy tucks, breast implants, liposuction, new booty, or someone go to the doctor and say, I don't like my gender, I don't feel that I'm that person, so I want to switch my gender. Totally acceptable in this country at this time. But if a woman says, I don't feel ready to have a baby, oh no, you have to. Make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense, you guys. I'm here to remind you, ladies, that casual sex doesn't exist, okay? I don't care what the rap music is talking about. I don't care what your friends are doing. I love you, and I'm letting you know, as somebody who had a baby and with the person who was not the best for me, I'm living with the consequences every single day, okay? My daughter is a blessing, but my life is not smooth sailing because of the decisions that I made, because I was treating sex so casual. There's nothing casual about sex, okay? Sex is a spiritual act. Sex should be respected and honored, treated with the utmost care. So therefore, be wise about who you lay down with. Be intentional. When you are having sex, understand, be conscious that you may conceive and be okay with that. Ideally, plan your pregnancies, you know? And I'm still support a woman's right to choose, because at the end of the day, as women, we're the receivers, right? As the feminine, we are receiving the man's seed. And so the men kind of have the control because they have to put their sperm in the body, and we can't go in their body and say yes or no. A woman is at the mercy of her partner in that moment. Again, why it's so important to choose your partner wisely. Be in love, be in a healthy relationship, because once a man releases, you are at the mercy of him doing that. You may be saying no, and he could still do it, get you pregnant, and now these laws are saying you have to have the baby. Okay, so be conscious of your partner, be wise, be smart, protect yourself, you know, do the inner work so that you're not seeking like unhealthy partners just because you're trying to look for that love. Love yourself first and raise your standards for yourself. It doesn't matter what people think. And to all the men who are supporting women's rights, you are appreciated and we love you. I've been seeing men like speak up for women and be like, dang, this is not right, because it's not. Not that I'm for abortion, I'm not, but it's about freedom. And let's just be aware of what the government is doing. Let's not turn a blind eye. It's also unraveling. It's happening so that we're forced to see what is going on, guys. So don't be a hypocrite. If you are for women's rights because you believe in a woman's right to have control and sovereignty over her own body, you believe in the woman's right to choose for herself, then it doesn't stop at women. It's for all people, men, women, children. Believe in that for everything. Don't sit there and say women should be able to have abortions, but I also agree that everyone should be vaccinated. It doesn't make sense. So either you are for freedom or you are for control. Either you want the government making your medical decisions or you do not, okay? Don't play both sides. Make a decision, know why you believe in what you believe, okay? And I believe in freedom. I believe in making wise decisions for yourself and having the right to choose what's best for yourself. Whether you want a vaccine, then do it, but don't force everyone to do it. Whether you want to have an abortion or not, it's your decision. Okay? Freedom, love, power. And ladies, this is not over. It's not going to, people are not having it in general. Women, men, the government is going to continue to try to strip away more rights, more rights. I see what's happening in China with the surveillance, and it's terrifying. There's cameras everywhere. The government is trying to exert so much control, so be aware of this. Be awake to this. This is another example of what's really happening, okay? So don't turn a blind eye. Don't think it doesn't affect you because you're a man. No, it affects you. It does, because if you have a daughter and something happens and now she's in a position where she's seeking an abortion and can't have one, it affects everybody, okay? So let's stay woke. Let's stay in unity. Let's stay in love. And let's just resist what is happening, because we were born free, okay? Freedom is your human right. I love you. I'm sending you power and healing and love into your life, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Other people sing along and we say movement together as one. No matter where you are, no where you come from. Rid the earth of separation. This generation too strong for Babylon. Together as one.